प्रथम गुरु जी को वंदना, द्वितीय अर्थ गणेश जय मां। ओ तृतीय सिमरण शारदा, मेरे कंठ करो प्रवेश जय मां। आनंदी आनंद करो, कल्याणी कल्याण। ओ मैया आठ पहर 64 घड़ी, मैनू दे चरणां दा ध्यान जय मां। ओ जिनके हाथ निशान है, मैया तिन अटकावे कौन। जे मैया सानू तारना, ते मारण वाला कौन जय मां। हाल भरा गज मोतिया, ते थाली भरी सिंदूर। ओ मैया आठ पहर 64 घड़ी, मैनू दे चरणां दा ध्यान जय मां। ओ मैया सुए सुए चोलियां वालिए, तेरे गल पुष्पां दे हार। ओ मैया बछड़े दर्शन मांगदे, तुसी खोलो खोलो राज द्वार जय मां। ओ मैया सुए सुए चोलियां वालिए, तेरे गल पुष्पां दे हार। ओ मैया बछड़े दर्शन मांगदे, तुसी खोलो खोलो राज द्वार जय मां। तेरे दर ते ध्यानू आया, तेरे दर ते ध्यानू आया। ऊनी कट के शीश चढ़ाया, ऊनी कट के शीश चढ़ाया। ओ मैया कटिया शीश मिला, दिता कशिया शीश मिला। ओ मैया नौ रंग चोलियां वालिए, ओ मैया नौ रंग चोलियां वालिए। तेरे गल पुष्पां दे हार, तेरे गल पुष्पां दे हार। ओ मैया बछड़े दर्शन मांगदे, ओ मैया बछड़े दर्शन मांगदे। ओ तुसी खोलो खोलो राज द्वार, तुसी खोलो खोलो राज द्वार। मैया नौ रंग चोलियां वालिए, तेरे दर ते अकबर आया, तेरे दर ते अकबर आया। तेरी जोतां ते पानी
हर पल में हो प्रभु सिमरन तेरा, ऐसा बना दो प्रभु जीवन मेरा। हर पल में हो प्रभु सिमरन तेरा, ऐसा बना दो प्रभु जीवन मेरा। तेरी सेवा करते करते बीते हर क्षण मेरा, ऐसा बना दो प्रभु जीवन मेरा, ऐसा बना दो प्रभु जीवन मेरा। तेरी सेवा करते करते बीते हर क्षण मेरा, हर पल में हो प्रभु सिमरन तेरा, ऐसा बना दो प्रभु जीवन मेरा। याद तेरी को सदा मैं दिल में बसाऊं, याद तेरी याद तेरी को सदा मैं दिल में बसाऊं। आठों प्रहर बस तेरे गीत गाऊं, तेरे चरणों में रहे मन मेरा, ऐसा बना दो प्रभु जीवन मेरा। हर पल में हो प्रभु सिमरन मेरा, ऐसा बना दो प्रभु जीवन मेरा। ख्वाहिशों जग की न मुझको सताए, ख्वाहिश जग की ख्वाहिशों जग की न मुझको सताए। चिंता हरगिज न नजदीक आए, करता रहूं प्रभु चिंतन तेरा, ऐसा बना दो प्रभु जीवन मेरा। हर पल में हो प्रभु सिमरन तेरा, ऐसा बना दो प्रभु जीवन मेरा। ऐसा तेरी भक्ति में दास खो जाए, ऐसा तेरी भक्ति में ऐसा तेरी भक्ति में दास खो जाए। मैं न रहूं तू ही तू हो जाए, सफल हो चोला नरतन मेरा, ऐसा बना दो प्रभु जीवन मेरा। तेरी सेवा करते करते बीते हर क्षण मेरा, हर पल में हो प्रभु सिमरन तेरा, ऐसा बना दो प्रभु जीवन मेरा।
தாய்மானவர் பாட்டு திருச்சியில் வாழ்ந்த ஒரு செய்து அவருடைய பாடல். சீராரும் தெய்வ திருவருளாம் பூமி முதல் பாராதியாண்ட பதியே பராபரமே கண்ணாரக் கண்டோ கருப்பொருள் காணாமலருள் விண்ணோடிருந்த இன்ப வெப்பே பராபரமே சிந்தித்த எல்லாமே சிந்தையறிந்தேயூதவர் வந்த கருணை மழையே பராபரமே ஆறாமுதே அரசே ஆனந்த வெள்ள பேராரே இன்பப் பெருக்கே பராபரமே ஆரறிவார் என்ன அனந்தமறை ஓலமெனும் பேரறிவே இன்பப் பெருக்கே பராபரமே உரையிறந்த அன்பருளத் தோங்கொழியாயோங்கி கரையிறந்த இன்பக் கடலே பராபரமே எத்திக்கும் தானாகி என் இதயத்தே ஊறி தித்திக்கும் ஆனந்தத்தேவே பராபரமே திக்கொடுகு மேலும் திருவருளாம் பொற்பறிந்தோர் கைக்குள்வடர் நெல்லிக்கனியே பராபரமே முத்தே பவளமே மந்தவதும் பொற்சுடரே சித்தே என் உள்ள தெளிவே பராபரமே கண்ணே கருத்தே என் கற்பகமே கண்ணிறைந்த விண்ணே ஆனந்த வியப்பே பராபரமே பராபரமே.
डॉक्टर कोमल चंद्र राधाकृष्ण मॉरिशस से। मैं आर्य सभा मॉरिशस का जो हेड ऑफिस है उसके संचालन का एक सदस्य हूँ, एग्जीक्यूटिव मेंबर हूँ। और आपका कार्यक्रम योर प्रोग्राम आई यूज टू वॉच समटाइम्स ऑन via Zoom on Sundays. There is one of my friend, Dr. Abba, who is, I think there was Mr. Joshi here, and through him I came to know Arya Samaj Chennai. Very briefly, first of all, I should congratulate all of you for this morning satsang, and it was a pleasure for me and my family. I am here with my wife and my daughter, and it has been quite different the way you do satsang, and especially the yet, the mantra sequence is a bit different in Mauritius. And what I like most is that the complete participative, all members have participated in the yet. This is a very good thing. And we had melodious bhajan in Punjabi, Hindi and Tamil. And I wish all of you a happy Tamil New Year, guys, a happy Vaisakhi. And in Mauritius, Arya Samaj is present since 1903, and we have around 300 benches in Mauritius. We run 2 primary schools up to grade 6, We have 3 secondary schools up to grade 13. All of them are free. We have a tertiary segment. We run 6 homes for the elderlies in Mauritius, and we have every Sunday at between 7:30 to 10 a.m. we have Sunday Satsang in Mauritius. Our program is less participative. Mostly we have Bhajan from the Pandit, and this innovation from here I should take to Mauritius. And as we'll be celebrating next year 150 years of Arya Samaj Sthapna by Maharishi Swami Dayananda, and it will be an occasion for all of us throughout the world, all Arya Samaj's brothers and sisters, to rethink about the message, the philosophy that Maharishi Dayananda have given to us, so that we can make the whole world noble, peaceful, and eco-friendly. Because Swami Ji was one and only person who advocated independence, eco-friendliness, and return to the Vedas, which is at the right time now the need of the hour, where everyone is in a stressful condition, and doing daily sandhya and weekly satsang will help all of us to come from this very muddled situation of our life. I thank you very much, and I will be connected with you every Sunday via your Zoom program, and it was a pleasure for me and my family to be amongst you in this very early Sunday morning session. Thank you.
Today we will have a brief discussion on one aspect of Vedic Dharma. So, as we keep discussing this, to remind us that once again, we look at Vedic Dharma in 3 broad buckets. One is the Pancha-Mahayajna, understanding of that, Yama and Niyama. And there are obviously many other concepts as well, but these 3 broad buckets is what we keep discussing. Pancha-Mahayajna, Yama and Niyama. In the Niyama bucket, we have this concept of Tapa. So the 5 Niyamas: Shaut, Santosh, Tapaha, Swadhyaya and Ishwar Pranidhana. Today we will have a short discussion on the concept of Tapa. So word Tapaha, or if you can say is Tapasya, isn't it? The word Tapa is nothing but Tapasya in our everyday language. So when you say the word Tapasya, what does it invoke within us? What comes to our mind when we see the word Tapasya? This one child out there. Penance, right? So word Tapasya means penance. What does penance mean to you?
Meditation.
Meditation. Okay. So the word penance or Tapasya, when we think about it, overall invokes a thought in our mind that there must be someone who is, some sadhu who is, or some saint who is, kind of meditating for, as the child mentioned, for like, X hours a day, 5 hours a day, goes without food for many days, right? That's the broad understanding of the word Tapasya. And it is relegated or it is attributed to only a very, like a small section, right? जो साधु संत है बस उनको तपस्या करनी है, ऐसा हम लोग जनरली समझते हैं, and we don't think that it is applicable to us in our everyday lives. Yeah. Also, some of us definitely do practice in some small ways the way we understand tapasya, the conventional sense. Like कुछ लोग उपवास रखते हैं, right? We keep fasting for 1 day, 2 days, some people for 10 days, right? I would think in the Jain Dharma, a lot of tapasya, right? They go for fasting for many months. So all that does come under the concept of tapasya. But the even wider concept of tapasya is what we need to understand, which is applicable to each one of us in our everyday life. In our everyday life. And that broader concept of tapasya is what the Yoga Darshan refers to when it says tapaha in the Yoga Darshan. So, are there challenges that we face every day in our life? Yes or no? So, what kind of challenges do we face? So, there could be, for example, it's very hot now, isn't it? The weather is very hot, right? There is hunger. The broader definition says sardi, gharmi, bhook, pyas, maan, apman, and anything of these challenges that occur in everyday life. When you accept it with prasannata, when you accept it with a sense of without disturbance, without being agitated, it is tapasya. Right? So let's take for example, as I mentioned, say weather, right? It's troubling all of us. Now, you can be very agitated by it, you can be very troubled by it, and you can keep talking about it and cribbing about it all the time, right? Or you can broadly accept it without a sense of disturbance in your mind. दोनों में फर्क है. You anyways need to accept it. There's no option that you have. Let's take another example to make it more clearer. For example, you got hurt. आपको एक छोटा सा fracture हो गया. You got a small fracture. Okay. Now you have two options. One, you always keep thinking and cribbing about it. कि मेरे साथ ये fracture क्यों होना था? Why was it only me? Right? And say some bike come and hit you, so you keep cursing that particular person morning to evening all the time. Your mood is spoiled, right? That's also one way in which you can pass that time. It will now take 2 weeks for it to heal. Is there any option you have? No. The fracture has happened in the hand. You had a small accident, right? So you have this option of constantly cribbing for those 2 weeks, always be in a bad mood, right? Because you got this fracture or this hurt for no fault of yours. आपकी कोई गलती नहीं थी उसमें. इसने आपको पीछे से मारा, आपकी बाइक गिर गई और आपको हाथ में फ्रैक्चर हो गया, right? So now for 2 weeks, as I mentioned, we can either keep complaining about it all the time, or you can accept it. And okay, it has happened, there's no choice now. Let me live with it and let me see how I can better use my time now, right, with this particular fracture. So this concept of accepting things without constantly being in a complaining mode is nothing but your tapasya in your everyday life. Yeah? And these kind of challenges are there all the time. All the time. In everyone's life, isn't it? Right? So tapasya is not only for the saints. वो केवल साधु संतों के लिए ही तपस्या होती है, ऐसा नहीं है. आपके और हमारे जीवन में हर दिन तपस्या के साथ हमारे शास्त्र कहते हैं कि हम लोग को जीना चाहिए. Right? Take for example, in this sense, it also says man apman. So we all sometimes get hurt, isn't it? Someone goes and spreads some gossip. हम लोग के बारे में कोई कुछ बड़ा बोलता, something spreads some rumor about us. Happens, isn't it? Happens many a times. Now once again you have two options, right? One, you constantly keep thinking about it. आपको मन में बहुत ज़्यादा खराब लग रहा है, आप बहुत टेंशन में आ गए हो, and you also kind of pick up a quarrel with that person, and you are constantly in a bad mood. That is also possible, right? Other is to accept it and say it's okay, it's not true, but okay, this is what had to happen. Someone has mentioned about it, it's all right, and you accept it. So this is once again a concept of tapasya. So tapasya does not only mean going on long fasts, going on multiple things, and also sometimes I must say that we do engage in unnecessary tapasya also, in so-called unnecessary tapasya, which may not really bear so much of fruit. But this everyday tapasya, which is of, as I mentioned, you get hurt, अपमान, मान, अपमान, सर्दी, गर्मी, भूख, प्यास, ये सब जो समस्याएं हर दिन की होती हैं, when you don't accept that with a sense of equanimity, then you're not following the true sense of tapa. is something which we want to keep in mind. Couple of questions will take, and then we'll try and end today's session.
How does one gain? It's very difficult to accept challenges. What does one gain by accepting the challenge and not complaining?
What does one gain?
By accepting it.
Yes, so what one gains by accepting this is peace of mind. Right? So when you accept it and you think, okay, this had to happen, it's all right, you're peaceful. And remember one thing, life is unfair. Life is unfair, yes or no? Is anyone there in the room who always feel that life has always been fair? No. Life is unfair to everyone. And we also sometimes are unfair to people. हम लोग से भी गलतियां होती हैं, हम लोग भी कई बार भेदभाव कर देते हैं, हम लोग से भी गलतियां होती हैं और हम लोग के साथ भी बाकी लोग गलती कर देते हैं. So life is always unfair and we have to, it is best to accept it, and then you will have a peace of mind. Remember, the greatest concept, if you look at dukkha, right? So when I spoke about all these challenges, you're getting a fracture, you're getting someone gossiping around you, rumors, etc., all this, right? What can be the biggest dukkha in one's life? What do you think can be the biggest source of dukkha? सबसे बड़ा स्ट्रेस जिंदगी में किस वजह से हो सकता है? सबसे बड़ा स्ट्रेस
शरीर की वजह से,
हाँ,
बॉडी की वजह से,
सर सबसे बड़ा स्ट्रेस ऑन अ नॉर्मल एवरीडे बेसिस जो सर आप बोल रहे हैं एग्जैक्टली वो है विद योर ओन बॉडी. आपका जो शरीर है, ठीक है, आप ये सोचिए क्या इससे बड़ा कोई दुख होता है कि अभी मैं भी यहाँ पे खड़ा हूँ और मैं वापस अभी बाहर जाऊँ, रोड पे जाऊँ और मेरा यदि एक्सीडेंट हो जाए और मैं अगले 1 घंटे के अंदर आपको एक आईसीयू के अंदर वेंटिलेटर पे बॉडी पैरालिसिस के साथ में भी मिलता हूँ. ऐसा हो सकता है? होता है, डेली ही होता है. डेली इस देश में हर 3-4 दिन में एक व्यक्ति की रोड एक्सीडेंट में मौत होती है. ऐसा होता है. तो यदि मैं उस विजुअलाइजेशन को करूँ, इफ आई थिंक अबाउट दैट पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन wherein I find myself in a hospital on a ventilator with my body paralyzed for life, to my mind that's the biggest source of dukkha in a normal everyday world for me, for every soul, isn't it? Right? Any other dukkha in front of that will pale in comparison. Yes or no? So if you close your eyes and think about all the stresses you have in life now, सबके जीवन में स्ट्रेस है, कुछ ना कुछ दुख तो जरूर है. तो यदि आप अपने आंखों को बंद करें आधे से 1 मिनट के लिए और सोचें कि यदि ये दुख आपके सामने यदि 1 घंटे के भीतर यदि आने वाला, जो दुख मैंने आपके सामने रखा, किसी के साथ भी हो सकता है ना. आई टॉक अबाउट माई सेल्फ, लेकिन ये आपके साथ भी तो हो सकता है, राइट? अभी जाते समय एक्सीडेंट होकर हम लोग हॉस्पिटल में 1 घंटे के अंदर हम लोग अपने आप को पा सकते हैं. उस दुख के सामने और बाकी जो भी दुख जो हम लोग अभी चर्चा कर रहे थे, मान अपमान, हानि, लाभ, भूख, प्यास, उस दुख के सामने कौन सा दुख बड़ा है? वो दुख बड़ा है. तो आपका सारा स्ट्रेस जो आपके दिमाग में है, यदि आप उसको उससे कंपेयर कर लें तो ये सारा स्ट्रेस निकल जाएगा. और यही तपस्या है. यदि आप इसको ध्यान में रखें और अपने सारे स्ट्रेस को आप साइड रख लें, आप उस तपस्या को उसको करके उस चीज़ को एक्सेप्ट कर लें. और उसको एक्सेप्ट करने का मतलब ये नहीं, इट्स नॉट डजंट मीन दैट यू डोंट वर्क टुवर्ड्स रिजॉल्विंग द प्रॉब्लम. एक्सेप्टेंस डज नॉट मीन दैट व्हेन देयर इज अ सोर्स ऑफ दुख, right, you definitely try and accept it. If someone spreads a false rumor, someone or there's a fracture, definitely go to a doctor. You try and ensure that it gets healed soon. It's not about not trying to address the problem, but it is trying to address the problem in the sense of equilibrium, without disturbance, without agitation in the mind, without stress, without tension. That is the true concept of tapasya. Any question? So I'll move on. Today we also have a very, it's an important, yesterday was a very important day, and today being a Sunday we will we will think about it. What was one key event that happened yesterday? Anniversary of Jallianwala Bagh. Yeah. So today is 14th April. On 13th April 1919, right? You had the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, right? And we need to constantly remind ourselves of some of these historic events that have happened in the past. Today, if you think about it, there is no narrative around it, isn't it? How many of you really heard about the news yesterday, etc.? Hardly many of us. It's social media, n number of other posts come, but did we really see a post on Jallianwala Bagh? The answer is no. Right? So these are events that we definitely need to remember and not forget the sacrifices of our numerous freedom fighters. Right? So on this fateful day, you had how many people got marked?
1,000 Indians got.
So roughly about anywhere between some say 500, 1,000, 1,500. But there were 20,000 people. There were 20,000 people gathered in this particular small park, which was surrounded by buildings on all the three sides, with only one entry and exit, right? And over there, you had General Dyer, who got in about 200, 300 troops. Who were these troops? Were they Britishers or Indians? Indians. They were Indians. All this is sad part of our history. They were not Britishers who were there, who were killing us. They were our fellow Indians, right? Who were being killed? You had the Hindus, the Sikhs, the few Muslims, right? And who were killing them? Once again, the Sikhs and the Hindus and the Muslim Indians, right? Were showering all the bullets on them till their ammunition got exhausted, right? Many of them jumped into the well. It was blocked from all the three sides, right? So there was no, and the entry exit was blocked by these Indian soldiers who were taking instructions from the Britishers, right? Remember one thing, India as a country there are not more than 50,000 Britishers on the Indian soil at any point of time. But still Britishers controlled about 20-30 crores of Indian population. It's unbelievable as to how we were being ruled by the Britishers, not by having their people out here, but by fooling ourselves, our own fellow Indians. So we need to think about it and keep learning from our history. We also have our elections coming up. On 19th, we vote for the Tamil Nadu votes for the Lok Sabha elections. Okay, I urge all of you to definitely participate in the voting process. Absolutely important, right? Not being a political platform, I will not go beyond that, but you need to definitely ensure that you vote and keep the interests of the nation above everything, right? That's the most important part. These kind of incidents that happen, the Jallianwala Bagh massacre that happened, and all this, not just this one incident, there are multiple such aspects in the Indian history from which we need to learn as to how we need to stand up to protect our nation. We'll also stand up for a minute and also pay homage to the numerous Indians who laid down their lives on this occasion. Also, we'd like to honor Dr. Radhakrishnan, who is here today. I'll request Lalitji to present an home sheet. So I think your family is also here. I'll request if ma'am also can join. Your children also, please. Request the entire family to please join. They are special guests. And I'll request if Lalitji, our president, can honor them with an home sheet. Brother Chennai, please to keep visiting us.
Yes, yes, definitely. Can we have a photo?
Thank you.